Hello everyone, Fanta here, and you're watching Fantavision. Welcome back to Tales from Retail. I know it's been quite a while since my last one, but, yeah, I don't have an excuse. So, let's dive right in and talk about some of the absolutely horrendous people I had to deal with while working in retail. As you can see, I've got GameStop behind me, and I've got Walmart on fire. Because that's what I felt like doing to the place after working there for more than... I think the first month was okay. No, first couple weeks were okay, and then it kind of set in that I was working at Walmart. So, out of these two places, customers treated me the worst at... I think it's a tie. I don't know, because I worked at GameStop for about 4 years. Sorry, I gotta take a sip of this. There we go. I worked at GameStop for 4 years, so I had a lot more interactions with customers than I did at Walmart, which I worked at for about 8 months. God, I worked there for 8 months. So, let's just talk about some specific stories that I can remember off the top of my head. Specifically, customers that swore at me or were just insanely unreasonable, which is a large majority of customers, surprisingly. There was a lot more asshole people than I thought there would be when I first started working retail. It's especially during the holidays, and I'm gonna have a video especially near Black Friday, but that's something I'll get in later. I'm just saying that the quantity of people that were just complete piles of dog shit really escalated during the holidays, which you think, I mean, understandable. I mean, people are stressed. They got to do their shopping, even though they have all year to go shopping. There's no reason they have to buy shit a couple weeks or a month before Christmas. You could easily buy something and throw it in a closet and you're done. I mean, that's super easy. Or buy everything on Black Friday and be a cheap bastard like I do. That's the best way. I mean, think about it. I mean, is it bad if I spent less money on the same thing that I was going to buy anyway? I don't think so. So, let's dive into some examples. So, since we've got the dumpster fire, Walmart over here, on fire, literally, let's discuss that first. So, I would work in the photo, I would work in electronics, I worked in toys sometimes, I worked in hardware sometimes, and I worked in wireless quite a bit for a while. And I feel like the concentration of assholes was definitely, like, if you're looking at a heat map, I think wireless and electronics were really the shitty areas. Wireless was really bad because you dealt with just the dumbest people on the planet. Like elderly people, they're not dumb. I'm going to give them a pass. I mean, it's... keep up. I mean, I don't think it'd be that hard to keep up. I mean, it's a slow transition. It's not like all of a sudden smartphones were here. It was like... it went from like the Razr to the Voyager to the first basic crappy smartphones, and then now we've got these crazy technological wonders that are computers in our pockets. So it didn't happen overnight. And I understand that a lot of people don't upgrade their phones every year, even if it is $1. So I guess, once again, it doesn't really make sense. But some people are fine with a basic cellular plan. I'm going to cut this. You understand. You understand what I'm saying. So, old people get a pass. We're not going to talk about them. Unless they're assholes. But actually, really, you think there'd be a lot of grumpy old people, but most of the old people I dealt with were pretty cool. Most of the people that were complete assholes were just, like, middle-aged or younger. Which is weird. I mean, you always think grumpy old people, but apparently not at my Walmart, at least. Now, of course, your store may vary. I mean, I'm not talking about all stores here. But my store, the concentration of people that were dicks were usually younger. Even some people my age. Really questions my generation. And I'm like, what is wrong with you? So I've taken up 4 minutes and just gone on about... this is what you've signed up for. You know what Tales of Retail is. You know why you're here. So... one such instance at Walmart was a guy that wanted to pay his phone bill Now, this sounds super simple. Now, most of the time, when you're in wireless, you're dealing with people that, like I said, have no idea how to use their phone at all. And it's a very arduous process to guide them through every single bit of their phone. And I mean every single bit. How do I turn it on? How do I set a ringtone? How do I add a contact? How do I import my old contacts? How do I install an app? How do I connect to the internet? There's a million different things you really don't think about with your phone. You just kind of know how to do it. But you gotta teach these people because they've never used it in their life. It's like they're coming out of like the early 2000s and they just fell out of a time portal and they're like, what is this? I'm like, that's the phone nowadays. That is the basic phone nowadays. Wow, I just want to send texts. You shouldn't get this phone then. You shouldn't get this phone. And then they get the phone anyway. And I'm like, once again, I'm not talking about just old people. But this isn't the situation. Somebody just wanted to pay their phone bill. And I asked him simple questions like, what is your first and last name? He gave me that. What is your phone number? I don't know. Come again? Well, come again what? What is your phone number? I don't know my phone number. How do you not know your phone number? How do you not know your own fucking phone number? I mean, what do you tell people? I mean, this guy probably doesn't have any friends. I mean, he's a fucking asshole. So he probably doesn't have any friends. So it's a little bit understandable why, he might not know his own phone number because he's not really giving it out. But that's like the first thing you think of when you have a phone. Like, you just know your phone number. It's just such basic information. So this guy doesn't know his phone number. I'm like, well, I can't have you pay your bill without the phone number because it requires it for the bill thing. Like, how the fuck does it know what phone it is if I don't have the phone number, And the guy just gets really mad and he's just like, look, man, I don't need this. I just want to pay my phone bill. And I'm like, I understand that, but you can't pay your phone bill without your phone number. Do you understand? Like, I can't do anything for you. Oh, you fucker, I want to talk to your manager. Okay. And then I called my manager up. And I know the manager's going to take forever. I don't want to deal with this guy. So I just tell him, like, look, I don't know why you're getting so angry. The manager's going to take forever to get here. Do you know somebody that knows your phone number? Oh, my girlfriend does. And I immediately think, you have a girlfriend? I don't know how. Anyway, moving on. I hope he doesn't lay eggs because we don't need any more of his kind on this planet. Continuing. So I get him to call his girlfriend because he knows his girlfriend's phone number but not his own. Of course, because of course he does. And then the transaction goes through smoothly and he leaves like nothing happened. Motherfucker just called me a motherfucker. And he's yelling at me. Doesn't even apologize, even though I fixed his problem. Sack of shit. Hope he gets lost and his phone's dead. So that's unfortunate. That was an unfortunate situation. And there were a lot of other people, like, I don't know if I've told this story before, but there's this woman, younger lady, a couple of years older than me, not too much older, about my age range, and she's looking for a DVD. And so I'm like, okay, what is it? So she tells me the name, we walk over to the area where it would be, I say we don't have it, and she says, well, can you check somewhere else? Well, it would be right here if we had it. She's like, well, is there do you have like a catalog? Now, Walmart, I don't know if you know, it's been a while since I've done one of these episodes, and I'm not going to go rewatch all my old episodes, but Walmart doesn't have a digital way of looking up their inventory of like lists of movies. Like, you can't, it's not like GameStop where you can just pull up, oh, this is what we have in stock. No, you have a paper binder with a bunch of UPC codes, and these barcodes are supposed to tell you if we have it or not. If we don't have it, it's either not in there or it's crossed out. Now, the manager never updated the damn thing, so God knows what we have. So we always have to scan it and then click through inventory on our little PDA thing. So I go over to this paper binder. I open it up. What do you know? It's not there. I'm like, well, it's not here. I told you it's not here. We don't have it. I'm sorry. Is there anything else I can help you with? And she's like, I don't trust you. Actually, you know what? No, that's not right. She left and came back with a manager. And the manager comes up to me and goes, well, they're looking for this movie. And I'm like, yeah, I told them we don't have it. And they overheard this and they're like, we just don't trust you. What the fuck do you mean you don't trust me? What is my benefit to not helping you? Now there's a benefit because you're an asshole and I know that now. But before that, when you walked in, what was my incentive to screw you over? There was no reason for me to do this. And this person doesn't trust me. What does that even mean? What is your problem? So this dumb fat bitch calls my manager over, tells her that she doesn't trust me. And my manager gets a lower level manager to take care of it, pulls me to the side and goes, they're fucking assholes. Don't worry about it. And I looked at her like, oh my God, you're awesome. For once, I have a manager that understands how we all feel working in retail. Because most managers just kiss ass. And of course she did a little bit. She's like, oh yeah, I'll help you guys, don't worry. But most managers don't say shit like that, even behind the customer's back. They'll still defend the customer at all costs because they're stupid and they've been brainwashed by the corporation they work for. Now, this isn't all managers, but this is the managers that I have dealt with personally. And this was like a gleaming ray of hope. And it was also my time to leave. Like, these people were bothering me 5 minutes after my shift. So I just wanted to help them quickly and, move on. And then they did all that shit. And she knew that. So she's like, fucking assholes, just go home. That guy will deal with it. That was like a terrible situation turned great. Just because of that one manager. I hope they never find that movie. So, GameStop. I'll do one more story because I'm already at 12 and a half minutes. I've been wanting to talk about this for a while. So I've kind of got a bunch of built up stuff that, has to do with this, but is also kind of on a tangent. One more sip. Also, intermission. If you're wondering what I'm drinking, it is Samuel Adams Oktoberfest. It's pretty good. It's not bad. Yeah, I'd never had it before, so I thought I might as well try it. And it was October when I bought it. It's good. I like it. Okay, moving on. GameStop. These are stories I'm really hoping I haven't told already. So, this woman... Okay, let me preface this before the shouting started. So this guy comes in. At my age at the time, so this was like 6 years ago. Something crazy. It was like 6 years ago. I don't know. I was younger, and when I was younger, this person was near my age at that time. I think it was like 18, 19. Age doesn't matter. They were near my age at the time, and he came in, traded in some games. Didn't think he was getting as much credit as I thought he did, but he still accepted the trade, and I told him, once you trade these in, though, you can't get these back. That's our policy. He's like, okay, I understand. Excuse me. So he picks out a game, he buys it, and leaves. Thought that was the end of the transaction. Wonderful. Okay. It's almost closing time. Got another hour to go. It's great. Back to Reddit. And then, this woman and the guy comes back. I'm like, hello? And she's like, I need to return this game and get those games back that he just traded in. And I'm like, well, can't do that. That's not how that works. There's no way to just undo a trade. Once you do a trade, it's gone. It's done. You've done the trade. And she's like, well, that's not acceptable. I'm like, well, I'm sorry. That's just our policy. That's what we can't do. And then she goes into just she tries to start a screaming match with me. And she's just like, you stupid fucking asshole. Why don't the fuck you help me? You dumb piece of shit. And I'm like, look, lady, because I had it at this point. Now, even if I could help you, I wouldn't. But guess what? I can't. So good night. And she just glares at me and storms out. And I'm like, okay, well, that's the end of that. I'm a crazy lady. She's gone. That's great. Now, mind you, this confrontation was a lot longer than I'm saying. It sounds like, oh, it was just a couple seconds. She was in there for a good solid couple minutes, actually. Because she just sat there silently staring at me sometimes when I said I can't do it. And there were long pauses between screaming because I was just kind of looking at her weird. And there were a lot of other expletives and things that she said that were trying to convince me to help her. Customers always try to yell at you, and for some reason they think that's going to make me help them. And in any industry, any service industry, I don't know what just happened. It all consolidated to one monitor. I'm sorry, guys. This is really unprofessional. Because this video is super professional. I'm not going to help you if you yell at me. I will make your day a living hell as much as I can. Because I'm paid by the hour to be here. You're wasting your time at this point. I am wasting your free time as much as I can if you're going to piss me off. If you piss me off, you're going to get the worst copy of the game. It's going to be scratched up, no manual, and no cover art. Even if I have a factory-sealed, quote-unquote, pre-owned game in here, you're not getting that. You're getting the shit one. In fact, I will go out of my way to Frankenstein a shit case while you're looking away to give you the worst product I possibly can. Because if you're being an asshole to someone who's making minimum wage, you really need to take a hard look at your life. Because that's just sad. I mean, that's what a lot of these people did. And I feel like a lot of these people were living terrible lives themselves, and going to the store was the only semblance of power they had. So anybody with a bit of power, as they say, absolute power corrupts absolutely. And I will say a little bit of power will be taken a mile. An inch of power will be taken a mile. And they will do everything in their power to make your life miserable. And that's what a lot of people did when I was working retail. They'd look down on you immediately. They would swear at you. Something that most people don't do to other people that are just walking on the street, or a friend, people that they know. It blows my mind that these people act this way in public to other human beings. I've never done this to people, and I don't understand the mentality of people doing it. So, this lady screams at me, she leaves after I tell her off a little bit. I never swore at her, though. I've never sworn at a customer that I can remember. I don't think I have. I've sworn around customers that were like regulars at GameStop, and they were cool. They were basically my friends at that point. Those people, it wasn't a big deal. I wasn't yelling at them. But I never swore at a customer. I always wanted to, believe me. I always wanted to, but I never did. I never snapped at anyone. I snapped. I just told you I did. But you know what I mean. I never screamed or yelled or did anything like that. I just calmly would show them how stupid they're being. But this lady, unfortunately, in the end, once again proved how shitty this world is, because she called the next day. She called my manager. Because I was the manager on duty, because she asked for the manager. That was always a satisfying moment, when the person asks for the manager on duty, and I'm like, I'm the manager on duty. That's right, I'm handling the situation. You're not getting your free shit through me. Because I would never concede to the customer. I'm not your bitch. You're mine. Welcome to my house. This is my store. You don't fuck with me. That's how I felt. Because it became a lot of us versus them, because of the animosity that we held towards the customers that were just bitter, awful pieces of dog shit, especially during the holidays, like I said. So, the us versus them thing happened, especially because of ladies like this who would then call later, got in touch with the store manager, and somehow that got escalated, I don't even know, even further. And we had to give her her games back, and she got the game that she was buying for free. So this person won at the end of the day. And it's a lot of people are like children still. They'll throw a tantrum, they'll swear at you, they'll be a horrible person, And retail will reward this behavior. And just like a shitty child, they will become shittier. And that's exactly how this woman has probably become this awful. And you know what? That woman's kid is probably going to grow up just the same. Because he sees his mom doing that kind of shit, getting away with it, getting like more free stuff. He's going to go, oh, well, that's how I should act then, because I get rewarded for it. So retail is rewarding shitty people, and the shitty people just get shittier. And then their children get shitty, and it's like a branching chain of awful people. And I think that's why retail has become the pit of horribleness that it is today. I don't know what it was like in the past. I wasn't alive. But nowadays, I can tell you, it's awful. People are awful, and it's unfortunate. There were, like I said, there were quite a few people that were regulars. They became basically my friend. Like, they would drive out of their way to come to our GameStop because they loved us. Me, the assistant manager, and a couple other people, they would go out of their way just to see us. They'd fill out the surveys just to help us out because we were nice to people that were nice. It's super simple. You're nice to us, we're nice to you. Treat us like shit, we're not going to help you as much. We're just not. It's not going to happen. So treat other people with respect. Think of yourself in their situation. If you were in that situation, working a shitty job, minimum wage, terrible hours, you don't really get any time off, and then someone just comes in at you and just starts yelling at you, like, do you really need that? You've got enough to deal with. So just think about that the next time you're in a store. They're human beings, and they deserve to be treated that way. So that's the message of this story. I've got a lot of other stories about tales from retail. That's why this is a whole series. Bunch of other customers that are terrible, and I might skim through the old videos to make sure I'm not repeating myself. I hope I didn't repeat myself today. If I did, hopefully you enjoyed my new way of retelling it. I'm sure I told it a little bit differently at least. And as always, everyone, have a fantastic day. See ya.